Hello, hello, good morning, and happy Wednesday. Uh, Hopefully, your day has been going along so far so well. We're going to be continuing with updating our. Oh, this is the wrong window. This is like everything. I don't mean to open that up. I meant to actually cd into the directory before doing code. That would be helpful. There we go. We're going to be continuing to update our infrastructure. So we have this EC2, this VPC. I don't remember which one exactly we were working on. And let's see. Then our index. So This was the old main that we're sort of like building out. So we're basically creating our config, grabbing our stuff, passing it into things. I did realize though yesterday, something that I can do to make this a little bit nicer is when I'm exporting, I can have this load directly in here to make it a little bit easier. So this is EC2. So imagine, if you will, if instead of exporting this class, we'll just have this class here. And we're going to export default async function. Is this gonna work, or do I have to do like a another call or something else like that? Export default async function, like load or create, maybe init. Which is going to return a new this. Which is going to take in a key name and a user data path. So here we'll do key name, user data path, and we'll take in those things here. So key name, both those are string and required. Okay, so apparently I can't do that, so maybe we'll just do we'll declare this async function in it. Oh, you know what my problem is? I missed this. This goes right here. Then you're happy. Expected 3 arguments, got 2. The third one is VPC, which is the full VPC. Okay, so we basically taken our arguments here and we just pass them around, pass them straight on through. And so now can we do an export default? Load AMI is in here. Okay. Am I just somehow missing this? So let's see, we're doing... Create the subnet, load balancer, security group, user data script, subnet IDs. Did I delete that code by accident? I must have. Certainly not in this one here. Oh, here's the instance. I moved it into here and then commented out. So I wasn't even looking at the comments. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so we want to move you inside of here. All right, so we have create instance. We'll take in a name. That's a string. I want to rename this to be the Pulumi name. Just to make it like clear that this is like the resource name that Pulumi is going to have, because if I change that, it's going to destroy it and recreate it. The security group IDs, which is going to be this array of outputs. But let's see, can I get that from EC2? Might hold on to those because security groups technically is an EC2 thing. So I might want to create these out here. Okay. So I'm going to be like uncommenting and recommenting this so I get away from like any problem. So we're going to do security groups is going to be type. It's going to be an array of strings or an array of outputs, isn't it? Previously, yeah, I'd created them that way there. Security groups, like here's, for example, these different ones. Okay. Okay, so we're actually creating all the security groups separately here, so which means they can actually just be security groups. So you're a security group, an array of them. Under constructor, I want to now set you All right, so we'll assign this here. So you're the only one who's upset now. All right, so creating our security groups, which means we probably want to just have another function here for just creating a singular security group. So yeah, we probably want this to be its own thing then. I wonder if then I want this to be its own class. Because then I can have getters on it. Because we know we're gonna have like security groups for the specific EC2 instances. I kind of like this. So when we create EC2, we can have another security group class. And then maybe when we're creating our security groups, it could be just holding the instance of that class. And it constructs it, or we pass it in, which might be even better. So let's create a new file. So let's say security groups is actually just going to be type you need to be exported. All right, so we grab that out. That gives us our BB AWS security group, so we know what that is. We have you. So now, okay, this is security groups is going to equal to, let's pull that in here. And then an index, we'll initialize that here and then pass that in. So in EC2, Philby, you okay? Hold on, gotta go check my kitty cat. He is meowing up a storm, and gotta go make sure he's okay. I'll be right back. I don't know if it's that he wants attention or something else, but are you good? Are you done? What did you see down there? Hopefully, okay. What are you trying to eat? All right, well, I think he's okay. He might want to just play or something like that. But okay, so we'll return a new VB. Okay, so oh right, the init. We have to update the init too. Okay, so then you're down here. So VB AWS security groups. And we'll pass that in. Okay, so there's that, which means I don't need either of you. We store this away. Okay, so next up, we now create you. So we'll have our constructor. So when we create this, we're gonna want 3 security groups right away with, which means we want to store those behind here. So we'll have security groups. You're a type security group from there, and you're an array of them. Which means I want to have a function for creating a security group. You're going to return a security group. All right, so we know you'll take in the Pulumi name, which is a string. Okay, so we'll have a description, the egress, ingress. It'd be nice if I could just say like with Rust, hey, just generate the entire thing. You know you need it, but name. Wait, is name? Huh. Wonder why it's crossed out like that. Name prefix. Revoke the rule. Okay, no. Tags and then the VPC ID. Tags, I think we want a special name here, and then the VPC ID we need in here too. Okay, so knowing that, that means we need to store the VPC. Okay, so then we're going to have access to all these things. Okay, so descriptions, let's have... description is going to be a string. Egress, let's just... all these are going to be pretty simple. We're going to... Oh, you don't know what... Oh, it's an array, isn't it? No? Maybe? Yes, okay, so from port 0, protocol is all, I think it's like all like that. To port 0, CIDR blocks. Everywhere. Description. This is allow everything out to everywhere. Not using IPv6, prefix list IDs, security groups, self. Okay, so don't need any of those. That's good. Ingress. Okay, so this is gonna be interesting. It's exactly the same as egress. Just we want, to actually specify what the ports are. So we probably want. We'll start right now because I think we're creating unique security groups for each type of thing. So we have like the SSH access, which is allowing in port 22, the admin web, and then normal usage. Eventually, I might want like an array of these different things, but for right now, it's just a single thing per. So we can just have our port. So you're a number. And a CIDR block is gonna be everywhere for this one too, for those specific ports, and that's it. I guess we could have it. So we have this description. I wonder if I want like a security group to be like a type. I could do an inline type for this, but I can also do an ingress description. I don't know. I haven't decided. If I want a description, I'll add that in later. Otherwise, it's not necessary. So, ingress. Here we go. So we're gonna have our from port is gonna be a port. Protocol. So far, the only things I'm working on are TCP. To port is port. CIDR blocks. Right now is everything. And then no description. Okay. The name of this. I could have this be Pulumi name. That might work for right now. Tags. Okay, so tags is an object. We're gonna have name is, let's just also use the Pulumi name, and then the VPC ID. It's gonna be this.vpc.id. Okay. Also, you're not this type of VPC. You're gonna be our VPC. So you're a. Let's remove you from here. You're gonna be a BB AWS VPC. Right. Okay. So you're just saying, hey, you don't have this ID. Let's fix that. So if we head in here, we have their VPC ID on that. We're gonna do a getter. So a public get. The value is ID. That's gonna be a string. and we're going to return this .vpc ID. Which makes you happy. All right, so last thing is security groups. So we're going to want to create multiple of these. So how do I actually want to do this? I don't actually know if I want to have security groups as an array like this. I might want to actually create them as the separate thing, sort of like we saw them before. So that's going to be something like SSH, security group. You're going to be type of security group. All right, so I do need to be careful to do this exactly like this other one. So SSH security group, I believe, was the name of that one. Description. I mean, I'd be okay with it if it's the same. Let's see what's next. Port 22. All right, next up is going to be the web admin. Its description is going to be so access services through web admin portals, and you are through port 8000. All right, one more, which is going to be the normal usage. Okay, so access services as a regular user, and I believe you are 5341 because that's our ingress port for the logs. So this one is probably the only one that's going to need multiple ports eventually. Okay, so we have this. Okay, so we have our security groups there. We're good to go. So back to back to you. Can I not format selection? Format the entire document, please. Yeah, sure. Use use prettier. Maybe? I wonder if I can't do it until I have everything set up and I have no more errors. Okay, so then this is kind of okay. Class end. Wait, oh, class end's right here. What's going on here? No, it doesn't. Class is yellow. Okay, class end's right here. Yeah, I want you in. You're that one. Okay, very interesting indentation I had. You are, nope. Okay, I misread the indentations. You're like that. You're fine. Okay. All right. So create instance. We're gonna have our Pulumi name string. Okay, we go through this stuff. We have all of these. These are great. Then we have VPC security group IDs. We need to find out what we're applying to this instance. In this case, we're just going to apply the SSH security group. So I could put this as like public. And then you're going to be an array of this dot security groups dot SSH security group. Dot ID. Instance type. T2 micro. Okay, that's going to be fine. Key name. Okay, so we need the key name. This dot key name. Okay, we have that. Subnet ID. Okay, we can put that on our VPC. So right now, the way I'm thinking about this is we'll have a primary subnet and a backup subnet. So we'll have a public, primary subnet is going to be a subnet. Now we have to get these, right? We're not creating them as part of this because I think, well, at least one of them was already created. Oh, okay. I could grab both the subnets this way. Oh, but here's a create subnet that we have, which takes in a VPC ID and then creates this. Okay, so we're gonna have to create a subnet. So that's gonna be our backup subnet that we're creating there. Okay, so create subnet. We take in a name, which is this. Let's update this to be, I guess I'm using it in both places. That should be fine. VPC ID is, we already have that. Availability zone, yes, we want to set that specifically. And then a CIDR block. Right, we also want that set for us. VPC ID is going to be this dot. I can actually just do this ID like that. That should work. Availability zone, CIDR block, tags. Okay, so that's going to create our subnet and should keep the one we have appropriately. Okay, so let's now create. We'll do our backup one because that's the one we're actually creating here. So this dot backup subnet is going to be a dot create subnet. Where did I actually create that? I didn't create it here. I thought I created it in here. Oh, right, here it is. Backup public subnet. Availability zone. This one. And CIDR block. What is this one? Okay, so if that's our backup subnet, now I want to have the primary subnet also. We didn't create it in this one. I had created this in a different repo, so I can get it. I could grab the ID of it too. That might be good. Grab the ID of it. Because I don't think I can. Let's see. If I try to, I have to go find that one and then like redo the create of it, which I don't think is that big of a deal. But let's see. We can have this be a get for the subnet, and I could go grab its specific ID too. Or I don't right now store the primary subnet. I just store these. And we're going to have another getter for get all subnet IDs, which could be a thing. That could work. All right, so back to you. We need, oh right, where we need that public subnet ID. What are you doing right now for that? Do I? Oh, I might have this as a variable. Hold on, let me check. I do have that as a variable. So, okay. So into our VPC, we're also going to take in you. We will take in our primary subnet ID, which is a string, and we'll store that away here. So maybe this won't be public. I'll use getters to grab this stuff out together. Maybe. I'll make them public as I need to. How about that? Primary subnet ID is going to be a string. Okay, that makes you happy. Now, if I make this public, or I can just do a getter like this. Okay, back to you. I guess like now you're upset. You're upset because I now need to also require, so config dot require subnet ID. Okay. The security groups require the VPC. Okay. We have that. All right, so subnet ID, we can now do, this is going to be this dot our VPC dot get primary subnet ID. And then finally, user data, this dot user data. Okay, we can now create the instance. When we initialize, we might as well create the instance and hold that in here, which we actually have that right here. So then we have to wait until load to create the instance. So to have the AMI to use, don't we? Yes. So this dot instance equals this dot create instance. And then our Pulumi name. Is that. Okay. And we have successfully migrated over and created the instance here. Let's git commit this. That was a lot. Okay, back to index here. Here's VPC ID. Okay, so we actually doing that right now. Okay, so the subnet IDs, we're getting this subnet. Okay, so I think we're good to go here. Then factor some of these things. This interface, I don't really think we need any more. These I don't really care about. Okay, so create the subnet. We've created the subnet in the other one. So remove you. Create the load balancer. All right, so load balancers also go under EC2, but I kind of feel that we want to put this one in here separately. So load balancer.ts. We're gonna want to create this probably on init. Okay, so we'll create a load balancer off of here now, which means we're going to store the load balancer inside of this. So load balancer is going to be type load balancer from here. Okay, so we need security group IDs. If we're going to get security group IDs, that means we need the security groups for this. I guess our security groups can then also store, we can have a getter for like, okay, yeah, we can have a getter for this. So we want to store the security groups. That's going to be a BB AWS security groups. Subnet IDs. This is going to be all of the subnets, which means we should store away the VPC. Enable deletion protection. We'll probably flip this eventually to something else. Let's this will be fine inside of here. Actually, I can have this as a constant up here. we'll actually force this to be added in to be a little bit neater. The first time I accidentally added it and I didn't really want to, which was a fun. It wasn't that hard to like change it. I just needed to run update twice, once with turning it off, and then next time to like delete and recreate the load balancer. But okay, so we create this, we turn a new load balancer. What's going on here? You are at this level, we're at that level. Okay, so we have our load balancer. Internal false. Okay, so it's not an internal one. Load balancer type is an application. Definitely important for us. Security groups is, okay, so security group IDs. So I want to, outside of our security groups, I want to have a getter for the, let's do this. We'll do public get, this is going to be get public, I guess, like get internet to load balancer, internet to load balancer security groups. This is going to be a security group like that. We're going to return, and I want to be the IDs, right? So internet to load balancer security group IDs. So we're going to return this dot. Okay, so we want normal usage dot ID and this dot with admin security group dot ID. So then you're gonna be a. It's this weird thing because it's an output string, so it's output string aside. Okay, that makes you happy. Subnets. Okay, we have our subnet IDs, which are being passed in right now. However, I have a VPC, so I don't actually need this passed in. We can do, okay, so I want to get all of the subnet IDs. So public get all public subnet IDs. Now this is going to be interesting because I have an actual subnet, and then I have a subnet ID here. So this is going to be this is going to be interesting. I'm going to have an array. Wonder how I'm going to, I want it to be like a tuple type. Okay, so I want this to be an array of string or output string. All right, so for you, we're gonna have this dot primary subnet ID. That's easy for that string, and then this dot our backup subnet dot ID as the other one. You are an output string, but you're not assignable to this type. Source has 2 elements, but target only allows 1. Great. Oh, source has 2 elements, but only allows 1. Okay, so I got it. Literally, that's my type. Because otherwise, I would, could I do something like this? I want string or output string array. But is the array only going to be applied to this output here? It is. So then I would want that on like something like this. Oh, that works. Okay. So now I can get all public subnet IDs out of here. And that makes you happy. So now we can create the load balancer and stuff that inside of here. And for the enable deletion protection, that is this big enable deletion protection constant that we have at the top of the file. And now we are creating the load balancer. Unfortunately, that's all the time I'm going to have today for this. I'm going to go ahead and delete you up here. So we know where to continue off next time, because I have an early meeting that I have to get to today. So I'm going to go ahead and take off, go get ready for that. And I will be back tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, and it should be the normal time. We'll get another 15 or so minutes that we can stream. So with that, thank you so much for hanging out with me today while we're doing some refactoring. I know we're hopefully gonna pretty soon be done with this, and then move on to more fun things. So with that, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye.